Good morning everyone. Today, we step back into the gentle, wholesome streets of Mayfield, USA, a place where problems were solved with patience, a father's quiet wisdom, a mother's understanding smile, and the innocent mischief of childhood. That place, of course, is the timeless world created by Leave It to Beaver, the beloved sitcom that aired from 1957 to 1963 on CBS and then ABC. Across 234 episodes, this groundbreaking series captured the everyday adventures, small triumphs, and gentle life lessons of an all-American family, the Cleavers. Unlike many shows of its era, Leave It to Beaver focused not on slapstick or big laughs, but on the authentic growing pains of youth, the importance of family communication, and moral choices in ordinary moments. At its heart were relatable characters brought to life by a remarkable ensemble cast. Some who became icons of mid-century television, others who left lasting impressions in recurring roles. In this special presentation, we honor the top cast members as ranked by their prominence and episode count. We'll explore their real names, ages during the run, the characters they portrayed, their contributions to the series, career highlights, any notable awards or recognitions, and the legacies they left behind. From the core family to the memorable friends, neighbors, and authority figures who filled Mayfield with life, each performer added something irreplaceable. So settle in, perhaps with a cup of coffee, just the way June Cleaver might have served it, and let's revisit the people who made Leave It to Beaver a cherished part of American television history. Jerry Mathers as Theodore Beaver Cleaver, 235 episodes, 1957 to 1963. We begin, naturally, with the boy at the center of it all. Jerry Mathers, born Gerald Patrick Mathers on June 2, 1948, in Sioux City, Iowa. During the show's run, Jerry was just 9 years old when filming began in 1957 and turned 15 by the finale, perfectly capturing the transition from little boy to teenager that defined Beaver's journey. As Theodore Beaver Cleaver, Jerry portrayed the quintessential curious, accident-prone, good-hearted younger brother. Whether getting into scrapes with his best friend Larry, dodging schoolyard bullies, or learning hard lessons from Ward and June, Beaver's wide-eyed innocence and earnest apologies made him instantly lovable. Jerry's natural, unforced delivery, never overly cute or rehearsed, gave the character authenticity that resonated with millions of viewers and their children. Jerry's career started remarkably early. At age 2, he appeared in a pet condensed milk commercial, and by age 5 he was acting in films like Alfred Hitchcock's The Trouble with Harry, 1955. After Beaver, he largely stepped away from acting to serve in the Air National Guard during the Vietnam War era, a service he takes great pride in, later working in banking and real estate. He returned for revivals like the new Leave It to Beaver, 1983 to 1989, and made convention appearances for decades. In 1984, Jerry received the Young Artist Award for Former Child Star Lifetime Achievement, a fitting tribute to his pioneering work as one of TV's first child leads in a family sitcom. Diagnosed with type 2 diabetes later in life, he became an advocate for awareness. Today, in his mid-70s, Jerry remains the living embodiment of Beaver, warm, approachable, and still signing autographs with that same genuine smile. His performance helped define childhood on television and ensured Leave It to Beaver endures as a gentle mirror of American family life. Hugh Beaumont as Ward Cleaver, 234 episodes, 1957 to 1963. Next is the calm, pipe-smoking patriarch, Hugh Beaumont, born Eugene Hugh Beaumont on February 22, 1909, in Lawrence, Kansas. Hugh was in his late 40s during the series, 48 when it started, bringing mature gravitas and quiet authority to Ward Cleaver. Ward was the ideal 1950s father, firm but fair, always ready with wise advice delivered in measured tones after a hard day at work. Whether helping Beaver navigate a lie or teaching Wally responsibility, Ward embodied patience, moral clarity, and unconditional love. Hugh's understated acting style made Ward feel real rather than preachy. Before Beaver, Hugh had a prolific career in B-movies, serials, and early TV, including the Lone Ranger and film noir roles. He held a master's degree in theology and was an ordained Methodist minister, which influenced his compassionate portrayal. He directed 30-plus episodes of the series himself. After Beaver, Hugh continued guest starring and directing but retired in the 1970s to spend time with family. He passed away on May 14, 1982, at age 73 from a heart attack. Though no major awards came his way, Hugh's legacy as Ward Cleaver, the father figure many viewers wished they had, remains profound. His performance set a standard for thoughtful TV dads. Barbara Billingsley as June Cleaver, 235 episodes, 1957 to 1963. No family would be complete without the ever-graceful mother, Barbara Billingsley, born Barbara Lillian Combs on December 22, 1915, in Los Angeles, California. Barbara was 41 when the show premiered and 47 by its end, perfectly embodying the poised, pearls-wearing suburban homemaker. June Cleaver was the heart of the home, always supportive, rarely rattled, and famously clad in heels and pearls even while doing housework. Her calm, "Ward, I'm very worried about Beaver" lines became iconic. Barbara's warmth and subtle humor made June aspirational yet approachable. Barbara began as a model and MGM contract player in the 1940s before transitioning to TV. After Beaver, she guest starred, famously spoofing June on Amazing Stories and Roseanne, and voiced Nanny in Muppet Babies. She received a TV Land Award for Character You'd Most Like to Do Your Homework, 2000, and similar honors. Barbara passed away on October 16, 2010, at 94. Her portrayal remains a symbol of mid-century motherhood, elegant, loving, and quietly strong. Tony Dow as Wally Cleaver, 234 episodes, 1957 to 1963. The older brother every kid admired, Tony Dow, born Anthony Lee Dow on April 13, 1945, in Hollywood, California. Tony was 12 when the series began and 18 by the finale, mirroring Wally's growth from awkward teen to young adult. Wally was the cool, somewhat aloof big brother, loyal to Beaver but embarrassed by his antics, navigating high school, girls, and cars. Tony's natural charm and athletic build, he was a junior diver champion, made Wally relatable. Tony continued acting in the 1960s, 70s, Never Too Young, guest roles, then became a successful contractor and sculptor. He reprised Wally in revivals and passed away on July 27, 2022, at 77 after a battle with cancer and pneumonia. No major awards, but Tony's portrayal defined the good older brother archetype for generations. Ken Osmond as Eddie Haskell, 97 episodes, 1957 to 1963. The ultimate two-faced friend, Ken Osmond, born June 7, 1943, in Glendale, California. Ken was 14 at the start and 20 by the end. Eddie Haskell was the smarmy, overly polite neighbor kid who buttered up adults, "Good evening, Mrs. Cleaver," but tormented Wally and Beaver. Ken's sly grin and delivery made Eddie one of TV's greatest antagonists, lovable in his villainy. Ken reprised Eddie in revivals and later became a Los Angeles motorcycle officer, retiring after injury. He co-wrote a memoir and passed away on May 18, 2020, at 76. His performance earned him lasting cult status, no awards needed. Robert "Rusty" Stevens as Larry Mondello, 68 episodes, 1957 to 1963. Now let's turn to one of Beaver's most loyal and memorable sidekicks, Larry Mondello, played by Robert "Rusty" Stevens. Born Robert Stevens on November 25, 1948, in Boston, Massachusetts, Rusty was just a wide-eyed 9-year-old when he joined the cast in the show's early days. By the time his character faded out around 1960, he appeared in 68 episodes across the first 3 seasons. He had grown into a teenager of about 12 to 13, perfectly capturing Larry's transition from chubby little tag-along to slightly more self-aware kid. Larry Mondello was the quintessential best friend in trouble, always ready with an apple in hand, that became his signature prop, wide-eyed innocence, and an endless supply of excuses when things went wrong. Whether dragging Beaver into a scheme to skip school, hiding from bullies, or simply being the enthusiastic partner in crime, Larry's loyalty shone through even when his ideas were terrible. Rusty's natural, unpolished delivery, complete with that distinctive round face, earnest expressions, and occasional lisp, made Larry feel like every neighborhood kid viewers knew. He wasn't polished like some child stars, he was real, relatable, and hilariously hapless. Rusty's entry into acting came early. His family moved to California, and at age 8 or 9, he landed the role after an audition that highlighted his boy-next-door charm. Behind the scenes, Rusty has shared in later interviews that the cast was like a second family. Jerry Mathers became a lifelong friend, and the set was a place of fun and learning. However, his time on the show ended abruptly around 1960. Rusty has explained that his parents decided to pull him from Hollywood life as he approached his teens. The family felt the industry pressures, combined with his growth spurt and changing voice, made it time to step away. In one candid reflection, he noted that producers sometimes preferred younger-looking kids for certain roles, and his departure was mutual rather than a firing, though rumors of growth issues, literal and figurative, swirled. After leaving Leave It to Beaver, Rusty largely retired from acting. He served in the U.S. military during his young adulthood, a point of pride for him, then transitioned into civilian business careers, including work in sales and management. He married, raised a family, and lived a quiet, grounded life far from the spotlight. Unlike some child stars who struggled, Rusty has described his post-show years as stable and fulfilling. In recent decades, Rusty has occasionally re-emerged for fan conventions, reunions, and interviews, often alongside Jerry Mathers, where he shares warm stories about the show. As of the mid-2020s, Rusty Stevens is in his mid-70s, still with us, and remains beloved for bringing such heart and humor to Larry Mondello. His character reminded viewers that true friendship means sticking by someone, even when they're munching an apple while explaining why the principal is mad. Stephen Talbot as Gilbert Bates, 57 episodes, 1959 to 1963. Next is the imaginative, fast-talking whirlwind known as Gilbert Bates, portrayed by Stephen Talbot. Born Stephen Andrew Talbot on February 28, 1949, some sources list it as Stephen Henderson Talbot. Stephen was around 10 years old when he first appeared in Season 3 and stayed through the end, appearing in 57 episodes as one of Beaver's core school friends. Gilbert was the dramatic storyteller of the group, always spinning tall tales, exaggerating adventures, or coming up with wild schemes that usually backfired spectacularly. Whether claiming his uncle was a famous explorer or convincing Beaver a haunted house was real, Gilbert's over-the-top enthusiasm and quick wit added layers of comedy and chaos to Beaver's world. Stephen's performance stood out because of his expressive face, rapid delivery, and ability to play both the instigator and the one who feigned innocence when caught. Stephen came from a show business family. His father was a producer, which gave him early exposure to the industry. After Leave It to Beaver, he continued acting sporadically as a teen but soon shifted focus. He attended college, studied journalism and film, and built a remarkable second career as a documentary filmmaker and producer. Stephen worked for PBS's Frontline and other prestigious outlets, producing investigative pieces on politics, history, social issues, and culture. His work earned him significant acclaim, multiple Emmy Awards, national and local, Peabody Awards, Alfred I. DuPont Columbia University Awards, a George Polk Award, and other honors for excellence in broadcast journalism. He has narrated documentaries, including Peabody-winning projects, and his voice has been heard in acclaimed biographies. Stephen's transition from child actor to award-winning journalist is one of the most inspiring post-Beaver stories, proving that early fame can lead to profound, impactful work. Today, in his mid-70s, Stephen Talbot remains active in media and occasionally speaks about his Beaver days with fondness and perspective. He has reflected on how the show's gentle lessons influenced his own storytelling ethics. Gilbert Bates lives on as the friend who could turn any ordinary day into an epic adventure. Stanley Fafara as Whitey Whitney, 57 episodes, 1957 to 1963. One of Beaver's earliest and most consistent pals was Whitey Whitney, played by Stanley "Tiger" Fafara. Born Stanley Albert Fafara on September 20, 1949, in San Francisco, California, though some records note slight variations. Tiger was only about 8 years old at the start and appeared in 57 episodes, mostly in the first few seasons before his role tapered off. Whitey was the straightforward, no-nonsense contrast to Beaver's more gullible nature, often the voice of reason, or at least attempted reason, in their mischief. With his crew-cut and earnest demeanor, Whitey tagged along on bike rides, school pranks, and backyard explorations, providing balance to the group dynamic. Tiger's natural, understated acting made Whitey feel authentic rather than cartoonish. Tragically, Tiger's life took difficult turns after the show. Coming from a family that moved to Hollywood for opportunities, his older brother Lucas, Tiger, Fafara also acted on the show as Tui. Stanley struggled with the transition to adulthood. He battled drug and alcohol addiction for many years, including heroin, which led to hepatitis C. In his later years, he became a recovering addict and even worked as a rehab counselor, helping others, a redemptive chapter that showed great personal strength. Tiger passed away on his 54th birthday, September 20, 2003, in Portland, Oregon, from complications related to his health struggles. Though his story had painful elements, fans remember him fondly for the joy Whitey brought in the show's innocent early years. His brother's involvement added a real family touch to the fictional friendships. Frank Bank as Clarence, Lumpy, Rutherford, 50 episodes, 1958 to 1963. The classic school bully who softened over time. Clarence, Lumpy, Rutherford, brought to life by Frank Bank. Born April 12, 1942, in Seattle, Washington, Frank was a teenager, 16 at the start, when he joined in Season 2, appearing in 50 episodes through the finale. Lumpy started as the big, intimidating antagonist, teasing Beaver, picking on Wally, and causing trouble, but evolved into a more dimensional character, occasionally showing vulnerability or even friendship. Frank's imposing size, he was tall and broad, and gruff but not cruel delivery made Lumpy memorable and ultimately likable. After the show, typecasting limited acting roles, so Frank pivoted brilliantly. By the early 1970s, he became a highly successful stock and bond broker in Los Angeles, reportedly earning a six-figure income, impressive for the era, and handling investments for former co-stars like Jerry Mathers. He authored a memoir, Call Me Lumpy, My Leave It to Beaver Days, sharing humorous behind-the-scenes stories. Frank passed away on April 13, 2013, one day after his 71st birthday, from cancer. His successful reinvention as a financial expert remains an inspiring example of life after child stardom. Richard Correll as Richard Rickover, 32 episodes, 1960 to 1962. Another key schoolmate in Beaver's later years, Richard Rickover, played by Richard "Rich" Correll. Born May 14, 1948, some sources say October 14, 1942, likely a mix-up. He was a teen during filming. Rich appeared in 32 episodes during seasons 4 to 6. Richard was often the instigator of minor trouble or the kid with big ideas, adding to the group's dynamic. Rich's energetic performance fit the show's evolving tone. Behind the camera, Rich built an extraordinary career as a director, producer, and writer. He helmed episodes of Full House, Family Matters, Step by Step, That's So Raven, Hannah Montana, The Hogan Family, Yes, Dear, and many Disney Channel hits. He also served as a producer and archivist, preserving TV history. Still active in the industry into recent years, Rich's journey from on-screen kid to prolific director exemplifies creative longevity. Jerry Weil as Judy Hensler, 31 episodes, 1957 to 1960. The prim, tattletale classmate who drove Beaver crazy, Judy Hensler, portrayed by Jerry Weil, born Jerry Warner while on May 15, 1948, in Los Angeles. Jerry was 9 when she started and appeared in 31 episodes across the first 3 seasons. Judy was the teacher's pet. Quick to report misbehavior, smug, and always perfectly dressed. Her rivalry with Beaver provided comic tension and lessons in fairness. Jerry has been open about the challenges of child acting. She left after season 3 partly because producers felt she had matured, puberty made her look older than Beaver, and she wasn't recast younger. She has said the set wasn't always fun, some co-stars felt distant, but she cherished memories with Tony Dow. Jerry stepped away from acting early, worked in real estate, raised a family, and has shared reflections in interviews. Now in her late 70s, she remains candid and appreciative of her legacy. Sue Randall as Miss Alice Landers, 29 episodes, 1958 to 1963. Beaver's gentle, understanding teacher, Miss Alice Landers, played by Sue Randall, born Marion Burnside Randall on October 8, 1935, in Philadelphia. Sue was in her early to mid-20s during the run. Miss Landers was patient, kind, and wise, guiding Beaver through school woes with compassion. Sue's warm presence made her a fan favorite. After the show, Sue guest-starred but retired early due to health issues. She battled alcoholism and other struggles. She passed away on October 26, 1984, at age 49. Richard Deacon as Fred Rutherford, 23 episodes, 1957 to 1963. Ward's boastful co-worker and Lumpy's father, Fred Rutherford, played by Richard Deacon, May 14, 1921 to August 27, 1984. Richard was in his 40s. Fred's pompous bluster contrasted Ward's humility. Richard was prolific, The Dick Van Dyke Show, The Addams Family, Get Smart. He passed at 63 from heart disease. Tiger Fafara as Tooey Brown, 18 episodes, 1957 to 1960. Wally's friend Tooey Brown, played by Lucas Tiger Fafara, born September 3, 1949, brother of Stanley. Tiger was about 8 to 11. Tooey was part of the older boys' gang. After acting, he pursued other careers. Details are private, but he has attended some reunions. Doris Packer as Mrs. Cornelia Rayburn, 17 episodes, 1957 to 1963. The stern principal whose voice terrified kids, Mrs. Rayburn, played by Doris Packer, January 25, 1903 to March 31, 1979. Doris was in her 60s. Her authoritative tone was iconic. Doris appeared in many 1950s, 60s shows, The Donna Reed Show. Buddy Joe Hooker as Chester Anderson, 15 episodes, 1957 to 1960. Recurring Kid Chester, played by Buddy Joe Hooker, born May 30, 1942. Buddy transitioned to stunts, becoming a renowned coordinator, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Django Unchained. Burt Mustin as Gus the Fireman, 14 episodes, 1957 to 1962. The folksy elderly fireman, Gus, played by Burt Mustin, February 8, 1884 to January 28, 1977. Burt started acting at 67. Gus offered gentle wisdom. Burt became a beloved late bloomer, all in the family, Phyllis. Karen Sue Trent as Penny Woods, 14 episodes, 1960 to 1962. Beaver's sweet first crush. Penny Woods, played by Karen Sue Trent, born March 14, 1948. Penny's episodes captured innocent puppy love. Karen retired young after a handful of roles. She has stayed private. These supporting players filled Mayfield with life, mischief, and heart, making Leave It to Beaver timeless. And so we come to the end of our journey through Mayfield. From Beaver's wide-eyed wonder to Ward's steady guidance, June's loving support, Wally's teenage cool, and the colorful parade of friends and foils, these performers created a world that felt safe, funny, and true. Leave It to Beaver wasn't just a sitcom, it was a gentle reminder of decency, family, and learning from mistakes. Many have passed on, but their work lives on in reruns, revivals, and the memories of millions. The Cleavers taught us that home is where understanding begins, and for that, we remain forever grateful. Thank you for joining me in remembering them. Good night, and remember, always say, please, and thank you, just like June taught us.